good Thursday evening, everybody. It's December 7th, 2023. I want to welcome everybody back into the LTL True Crime Podcast live show. If you are here live, please feel free to chat there on the right-hand side of the screen, which would probably be that way on camera. The right-hand side of the screen, chat with all my amazing subscribers, my members, my moderators. I want to welcome everybody in. I saw all of the moderators, the chatters, the subscribers, welcoming everybody in. Welcome in to you as well too. I'm not going to waste too much time. I know that everybody's here this evening for some Chelsea Grimm updates, and my friends, I have a lot of them to share with you. But before I get into the heart of the show, I do want to just pull up a local story here that has hit home for me, because we like to honor and respect our police officers in the Massachusetts area. So let me just pull this story up, and I want to do this as my first segment, and then we will transition into Chelsea Grimm. So last night, on Wednesday, there was an officer that was killed in Waltham, Massachusetts. He's a veteran. His name was Paul Tracy, and a National Grid worker, Redrick Jackson. And I want to honor them and just read this article and just tell you we have some major things that go wrong in our justice system. And let me just read through some of this article. New details emerge in Waltham crash that killed police officer and utility worker. A New Hampshire man was ordered and held without bail Thursday after he allegedly crashed into and killed the police officer and a utility worker in Waltham, Massachusetts. And Waltham, Massachusetts is the city that I grew up in. I was born there. I grew up there for a very short period of time, and I still have roots to that area. My 8 great uncles went on to be firefighters in and around that area. So I have many roots. My dad still lives there. So this hits home. It hits home really hard. So Peter Simon, 54, Woodsville, New Hampshire, was driving a stolen Ford F-150 pickup on Taunton Pond Road around 4:15 Wednesday when he attempted to do a U-turn in traffic, struck a Jeep Wrangler, causing his truck to go up on 2 wheels before slamming back down and driving off, according to prosecutors. About a quarter of a mile down the road, Simon was accused of crashing his truck into a police detail and a National Grid crew working on a possible gas leak, killing 58-year-old Waltham police officer Paul Tracy and 36-year-old National Grid worker Roderick Jackson, and injuring 2 other National Grid employees. The other workers have not been identified, and you can see here the photo of the 2 men. Prosecutors said Simon drove into the work site and veered between the National Grid truck and backhoe. Between the 2 vehicles was a trench where National Grid employees were working. Tracy was directing traffic, and Jackson was near him when Simon veered his vehicle into their direction, striking both of them. The work site was clearly marked with orange cones, orange signs, and yellow flashing lights. Alert drivers, prosecutors said. After striking Tracy and Jackson, Simon crashed into multiple vehicles on scene, including a National Grid truck, at which point was abandoned the F-150 and he ran off. A Waltham police officer located Simon shortly afterward, banging on the door of a local home. When the officer approached him, prosecutors said Simon turned on him, brandishing a knife, and he stole the officer's cruiser, proceeding to lead police on a high-speed chase. Police attempt to stop Simon several times, but each time he veered off into the officers. He made several turns throughout Waltham before ultimately crashing the vehicle, where he was subsequently apprehended. Simon was arraigned on Thursday morning in a courtroom packed with police officers and family members. He sported visible injuries on the side of his face. He said nothing during the hearing, staring straight ahead from most of the proceedings. He's facing 15 charges in all, including failure to stop, negligent operation of a motor vehicle, larceny of a motor vehicle, armed robbery, assault and dangerous weapon, 2 counts of manslaughter, leaving the scene of an accident after causing personal injury and death, 2 counts of leaving the scene of an accident after causing property damage, 2 counts of assault with a dangerous weapon, marked lanes violations, unlicensed operation of a motor vehicle. He was appointed a public defender in court and did not enter entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. He will be held without bail pending a dangerous hearing on December 14th. I want to talk a little bit about this. And I want to play this clip here, this 3-minute clip, to give some context as to what's going on. And then I want to pull up something that I saw today that I could not, I had to show, we had to talk about, and I think it makes a dramatic point in this case. There is a major problem in our justice system, and there is a charge that should be in this case with this person. So let's play this clip really quick.
Alicia Palumbo, NBC 10 Boston.
Let me go back here. Of course, we're going to get the ad. Do 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 dun 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 dun. Do, 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 do. I understand. Everybody needs to get paid. I understand it. But thank you for sitting through that with me. All right. And of course, it's not the clip that I wanted to play. Okay, we're not going to get to the clip. That's going to annoy me. Let me just pull this up here. So to add to the story here, I wanted to show you all something that I found that was reported today via Turtle Boy, and he makes an excellent point. He reported on this story, and he said, unfortunately, this incident was tragically predictable. And this is a direct result of the failure of our criminal justice system to imprison people who pose legitimate threats on our society. In 2011, Peter Simon was sentenced to 5 years in a New Hampshire mental hospital after he fled from police in his vehicle and crashed head-on into a public transportation bus in Keene. That's Keene, New Hampshire. He pled not guilty by the reasoning of insanity, and he was found to have disclosed disorder with a history of panic attacks. Panic attacks. Simon led police, and he goes into a subtitle here. Simon led police on a wild chase south of Route 12 on Route 99/101 and back to Route 9/, traveling west before colliding with a bus. He had a bus. Both Simon and the driver of the bus received minor injuries in the crash. Passenger in the bus sustained serious injuries and was airlifted to Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Hospital in Lebanon. You can see here a news article on the 12th. Keene, New Hampshire, former Brattleboro man charged with number of felonies after he fled from police in his vehicle, and he hit a head-on public transportation bus on Route 9 in Keene, which was sentenced on January 30 to 5 years in a secure psychiatric unit in New Hampshire State Prison for men in Concord. We have a big problem in our justice system. This was predictable behavior that could have been stopped. And in my opinion, this man should be charged with murder. Holding a knife to a police officer, stealing his cruiser to get away. This shouldn't be manslaughter. Now this officer's family, this utility worker's family, what are we, 2.5 weeks out? Not even. 2 weeks. About 2 weeks away from Christmas, the holiday. They will be without, I don't know if he has children, maybe their father, their brother, their son. Incredibly sad situation. But our justice system is broken, and we need to fix it. And these liberal states need to start waking up to these criminals. They get a way too much of a slap on the wrist. And you know what? This guy will get a slap on the wrist, believe me. He'll be out walking the streets in probably 10 years. But what I'm going to do here is I just want to hold a moment of silence for the Tracy and Jackson family. Let's just do that before we get into Chelsea Grimm. Okay, thank you for that moment of silence. My prayers go out to the Tracy and Jackson family. Okay, I just want to recognize this before we move on with the second part of the show. I appreciate everybody for allowing me to do that. I think it needed to be done. Ali Reza with the $10.03. Always those strange numbered super chats. Thank you so much. Love the super chats. See how nice they are when they're on the screen. We can pull up. They're colorful. Feel free to super chat throughout the show. All right, everyone, hit that thumbs up and show how Santa knows he is cleared for takeoff. Then you're sure to hit that subscribe and turn on your bell on. The bell is how Santa knows to stop at your house. Very, very nice. Very, very kind. Love the super chat. Thank you so much. And I also received a donation on Buy Me a Coffee. Let me read that really quick. Fudders, thank you so much for the $5 on Buy Me a Coffee. If you want to support me, I have a QR code up there above right there on that screen. You can point your phone at it if you're watching on a laptop or computer, and you can donate directly through Buy Me a Coffee. If not, I have the link that is right to the top of the chat there, and you can support me that way. My mission and my goal is to become a full-time creator by the end of 2024. It is my goal and is my dream to do this full-time, to become a fully functional, independent media company. I have big shoes to fill in 2024, and I have a big goal to fill in 2024. Okay. Let's move on to the Chelsea Grimm updates. I want to appreciate everybody for being here this evening. I have a little bit of a presentation to get through. You know, I always have presentations ready. I'm going to share my screen here in a minute. Just make sure everything is in working order, and I think we are there. I have a lot to share with you this evening. I will bring you up to speed about the two supplementary reports in this presentation. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. If you can do me a favor before we get into it and you haven't already, please smash the like button. It's very important. We need to get to about 100 likes on the stream to get out into that nasty algorithm. All right, let me share my screen and we're going to go into the presentation. Okay, I have some updates. That's why you're all here. And I'm going to do my best to get through this presentation. Okay, so we have the newest updated information that I have. Honestly, this all came together in about 24 hours. I literally had no Chelsea Grimm information, and then all of a sudden I had a plethora of Chelsea Grimm information. So bless the gods up there for making that come through. And here we are, where I can give you some updates. I know you've all been worried. What is going on? We're going to get there. All right, let's get to the first slide here. So tonight we're going to cover the search and rescue efforts. We're going to talk about Chelsea's SUV, and we're also going to talk about Chelsea's apartment out in San Diego. All right, on to the first slide here, and let me just zoom in here a little bit. So actively on Twitter, if you want to follow along, I urge you to follow along this account. This is a local that lives out in Arizona that has been going on singular local searches with a small group of people. And I will read the tweet, and I've been actively following this. This has been the most active, updated search and rescue efforts that I know of as of right now. So it says yesterday, 12/5, I traveled several hours once again to Williams, Arizona, meeting two locals from previous searches who have been also giving much of their time and resources to search for Chelsea Grimm. Below, circled in purple, is the ground I was able to cover in 4 to 5 hours nonstop search within safe daylight hours. Travels from one area to another by vehicle is not a quick process. ATV roads can be extremely rough. This may seem like a large area on the map, but it is. And inspecting the ground for any clues is a tedious process. Some of us plan to be back around Christmas to resume. And this is the map of the search area that they have been attacking this in the search. These are a lot of the grid areas that they've already gone in. As you can note here, they have Chelsea's car, and they've been searching off into that area, I believe where those windmills are. I didn't get much clarity on that. But that's what I have so far. So if you want updates, I would say SF Investigates, Steve, and then I would follow this account, the OSINT account, and you can see the tag there. And I'll just widen that up if you can't see it right here. And thank you. Thank you for searching. Okay, so I have some notes here on my chart. Confirmed, small group of locals continue to search, and Steve from SFI Investigates, or SF Investigates, was recently back out there in the area. I actually had a conversation with Steve via Twitter today. We were private messaging, and he was telling me that he was just out there taking part of this private search. And I'll have some more news as we go on in this presentation to update you as well with future searches. Okay, so Steve said, and I'm going to quote him here, he said, search and rescue. He said, we've been ground searching, but also decided to start drone mapping the entire area. And I'm going to show you something that's going to completely blow your mind tonight. Because when I saw it and Steve shared it and he said, you can show everybody, I was like, whoa. And incredible tools that they are using to map this area. And wait till I show you this. It's amazing. So he says we mapped about 6 million square feet on the last trip. Then I have a software that models the whole data set together, and you can zoom in and literally see everything on the ground, in the trees, etc. We also use an AI detection software that scans the areas as well. Let me show you what that looks like. Wait till you see this. This is awesome. Just give me a moment. I'm just going to make sure that has gone away. Just real quick, I just want to call out Cindy B. Thank you so much for buying me a coffee on the Buy Me a Coffee app. Thank you for your continued support. I appreciate that. All right, let's show you this data modeling. This is wild. And thank you, Steve, if you're watching me, for allowing me to show this. I appreciate it. Now, this here is a map of the area, and you can see in and around this area here, the areas that they have scanned with their drone. But watch this. As we zoom in and we get closer, watch the detail that comes up. And I'm not even all the way zoomed in yet. Just give me a sec. I was like, wow, when I saw this, I was like, Steve, incredible work. Okay. Yes, search and recovery. So as we get closer, look at the detail. Look at this. It is amazing. I mean, to be able to search out large areas and look at as you get closer and closer, you get more detail. So if you see something, a piece of clothing, a shoe, maybe an area that's distressed, anything like that, you're going to see that in this modeling. I mean, you can see here, this is probably walking trail or some type of trail. Look at the details in the trees. It's amazing. Very, very amazing. I was blown away when I saw this. I said, you got to be kidding me. I mean, you can see it down to the rocks. Look at this. So what this is doing is scanning all those little areas, uploading all those pixels. You drop it into this program. It amplifies all the details. And then Steve says they have some AI software that can scan over this as well. And it can show, anything that might be popping up, in this area that may be something of concern, a shoe, a piece of clothing, something like that, if that's what I'm understanding what he was telling me. But I mean, you can even see like, look at this. This is like a impression in the ground, or like you can see where people have probably walked through or drove through. You can see, the roads in and around that area. It's pretty incredible stuff. And I can't wait to see more of this and what this can do. It's new to me. Drone technology is very new to me. I just thought this was awesome that he allowed me to show this. So really, really cool stuff. And you can see here, as you back out, it gets you the whole map of that area. And this is what they've mapped out so far. So thank you, Steve. I appreciate you letting me share that. I wanted to bring that to the audience. No, thank you. Thank you for taking the time and care to go out and do something like this, and do it on your time, for the love, and to help bring Chelsea home. So thank you. And thank you for being here. Okay, so Osin says that's just one of the areas that's been uploaded. Very cool stuff, though. And it's amazing technology, and I can't wait to see more of it as this gets updated on the map. And we really appreciate it. Okay, let me go back to my presentation. Did I close my? Let's see. Oh, StreamYard, you really got to give this ability for us to queue up multiple tabs. It's just kind of annoying. It makes a stream. If you could do it, it would make a more seamless presentation when we're doing these things. All right, we got the presentation back up. Okay, let me just do this really quick. All right, so moving along. So search and rescue, or search and recovery, whatever you choose to prefer to use. I use search and rescue. I think it's just commonality. When I go to that, you just kind of think of that. So we had a source that reached out, and I have quite a few sources in and around that area of where Chelsea is in San Diego. And this confirmed, I saw text messages. I heard some voice messages. And source says that Sarah Grimm sends message to a friend of Chelsea updating on search and rescue or search and recovery efforts. Says that she had someone check out Mount Humphreys retreat. And I'm saying to myself, Mount Humphreys. Where have I heard that before? I've heard that name. I've heard Humphreys before somewhere. So I go back through the police report, and bam, I find it on one of the supplemental reports. And it goes back to the night of the 28th, when Chelsea was in and around Country Club Road. I don't know why this keeps bouncing all over the place. Country Club Road, before turning into 124. Remember, she drove onto that property and she was talking with the residents there, and she said, the witness says, Grimm told them that she was trying to get to Humphreys, unknown if it was Humphreys Peak or Humphrey Street in Flagstaff. Blank said that her husband was able to direct Grimm out of the driveway of the ditch, and they provided her with the directions back into Williams and Flagstaff. Grimm then drove to the end of their driveway, sat there for a few minutes, and then she turned west onto FS 124 in the opposite direction. Blank told her to travel. So I said, I knew I heard that before, heard that somewhere. So what I was thinking here, and I go back to this call with her mom back on the 27th. And bear with me, I'm going to explain this. So you have the interview with Janet, Chelsea's mom. I'm going to read this, and this is really the first time I've shown this, but I think it needs to be shown, and it's public. Again, you can go out there and get this report. It's nothing that can't be out in public. I got this through the Free Information Act. So anyway, telephonic interview with Janet Grimm. Let's see. On September 27th, Janet received a phone call from Chelsea, who advised she was in the Phoenix area. Chelsea asked Janet if she would be willing to pay for the attend the Canyon Ranch Resort and Spa in Tucson. The retreat is known to help with mental health wellness by alleviating stress. Janet told Chelsea that she was not able to pay for her to attend the resort and requested Chelsea continue driving to Connecticut. Chelsea became angry with that and her family. She would not pay, as they would not pay to attend the resort. Chelsea proceeds to block all of her friends and her family's phone numbers and social media correspondence. Chelsea even turned off her phone. Janet provided Chelsea's phone number, and I attempted to call it several times, but her phone went straight to voicemail. Also, it does say below that report, and it said that Chelsea was known to do this several times before, and her mom kind of knew that she would pop up at some point because she's done this multiple times before. So what I was thinking was, maybe when Chelsea was sitting there on the 28th, because she said Humphreys to that witness, maybe she was there. This thing, man. Come on. And she might have Googled, like a resort, a retreat. And maybe this is the first thing that popped up. She just put retreat in the area or something. And that's why I was thinking, maybe that's why she said Humphreys. Again, it can't be confirmed. I don't know, but I would love to see her Google searches around that time if we ever get the privilege to see that. Maybe that was something that she was thinking. Look, my parents won't pay for me to go away. I want to get some mental health counseling. She won't pay for me to go to this spa or retreat. And she's in that area and maybe Googled, retreats in the area or mental health retreat in the area, and this popped up. Now, this is not known to be a mental health, and I'll pull this up here. It's not necessary. It's more like a campground, but that's, what probably came to my mind. So Mount Humphreys in the hip camp, and basically here talks about we are nestled between Mount Humphreys and the White Horse Hills, gratefully border national forest of two sides of a 25-acre property. We want to share our scheduled peaceful, and this, kind of caught my attention too. Peaceful piece of land with nature-loving people. And as we know, Chelsea was a huge lover of nature, loved to be outdoors. Maybe she found this to be some kind of sanctuary if she went there. Again, this is all just speculation. It's something that I came up with. And ultimately, I'm going to put a conclusion to this here in a second in my presentation. And let me bring that back up. Hang on one second. Did I lose it? Of course I did. Of course it shut down. Oh, good old tabs. We love the tabs. Let's see. Okay, let me bring this back up. Up and away. Up and away. All right, so let me bring my screen back up here. Okay, here we go. So, that's just kind of something that I was throwing together. It's not confirmed. I'm just saying. My mind was working. That's how I would think in that situation. Okay, so we go on. I want to talk about search and rescue or search and recovery. I have confirmed with Steve that he will be returning to assist with the local search in the next few weeks. So we will be back out in that area. He is going to update me via live stream. So we will schedule a show with Steve out there when he's doing his investigation, his search and recovery, search and rescue. And I think that's going to be pretty cool. We'll be able to do that live with him. And he said he had no problem, so he can update us on the recovery mission. As of right now, my sources tell me that there are no active police searches. It say police, not search. Sorry about that. So police search. And we are still waiting on the supplement reports. And I will talk a little bit about that. So today, Carrie and I were frantically getting worried. I thought the reports would come through yesterday. They did not. So she reached out to the Coconino Sheriff Department clerk that she's built a relationship with out there, friendly relationship, and said, hey, did you get a chance to send out the reports? And they did. And Carrie, correct me if I'm wrong on the date. They said they sent them on 11/28, or was it 11/24? So anyway, and she'll correct me in the chat. They had sent them out. They have not arrived, which I'm guessing they're probably going to be here tomorrow, because that's usually how that works in these situations after I do a presentation on the 28th. Thank you. When I do a presentation, they usually come a day later, but that's fine. We'll have them. But I didn't want to wait for them. I wanted to go forward with what I had here and just give everybody an update. So ultimately what happened, she talked to the clerk again. They sent out another copy just in case I don't get these copies. Then she said, well, how can I get them just through a website like we did with Williams? They gave me a link. I went on. I think I paid the fee, whatever it was, $10. I can download it instantly, and it's there for 30 days if you want to review it. She said, the clerk said, well, that happens on the third time. So if we send the reports twice and they don't get there, we give you a link. And I'm like, oh my God, just send us the information. So unfortunately, we're at the mercy of the mail. I'm sure they're going to be here tomorrow. I am ever so longing to find out what's going to be in those reports. And I promise, yes, Carrie, exactly. And Carrie did the old one of these when she's like the third time. I guess it's just their department rules. And the clerk's like, hey, I'm sorry. It's just the way it works. So we're feverishly waiting that. We want to look over that document, of course. But as of right now, sources are saying there are no active, it shouldn't say search, but police search. I made a typo there. Sometimes when we do these quick and we look them over and over and over, everything looks right. But then we go live, there's mistakes. So I apologize on that. So we're waiting. They will not email them. We have asked. They will not email them. One, I'm sure it's probably, I don't know. I don't know what their department policies are, but they will not. So again, we got the first set that are supposed to be here, probably will arrive tomorrow. If not, they have a backup set that's coming. And then worst comes to worst, we don't get them in a couple of days. They will send me a link and I'll be able to directly download them, which is great. So anyway, let's move on here. All right, let's talk about Chelsea's SUV. And this for me was probably one of the hardest pieces of information to swallow. So I heard about Chelsea's SUV. I heard some rumors about it. I had some conversations with some sources, and they had let me know that basically the impound yard took possession of Chelsea's SUV after storage fees stopped getting paid. Everything inside the vehicle was discarded, and it has gone up for private sale. Rumors are the asking price will or has been around $10,000. So what I did was I pulled the Carfax on her vehicle because I wanted to see what was the last updated piece of information for that vehicle. I'm going to show the Carfax here in a minute, but I just want to show you this snippet. So as of 11/24/23 at 48,018 miles, Arizona Motor Vehicle Department of Ashfork, Arizona has issued a title or an update. So I may pull this report maybe in a couple more weeks to see where this vehicle went, if it's been sold, what's happening to it. As of right now, I believe it's still in the impound possession and it's waiting to be sold. It's waiting to be sold. And that was a hard pill to swallow because for me, when I started kind of putting all these pieces together, and I'm going to talk a little bit more, I'll wait for the end. I'll wait for the end of this presentation and talk a little bit more in depth about that. So let me do this just so you all know. I'm not concerned about showing VINs because this is all public knowledge. You can get this. Let's do this. Let me just bring this up here. Let's do that. So here's the Carfax here. I'm just going to bring this over and I'm going to do that. Carfax report on Chelsea Grimm's vehicle, and full report. You can actually see where it was purchased. It was 2 owners. So here it says California, Arizona. I'm pretty sure, I mean, that could be the impound or a private sale at this point. It gives you the whole, obviously, if you've seen a Carfax before, purchased out of Utah. I want to talk about the mileage here in a few minutes because I just found something very interesting about the mileage on her car as the years went on. Chelsea averaged about 1,000 to 1,500 miles on her car a year. And you're going to see this dramatic jump here in mileage. And you'll see just right around the timeline as well, too. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that here when I go back to my my presentation. So essentially, again, just a basic Carfax report, but it's something that I wanted to pull and have, to go over and just confirm everything that I've been hearing. And it leads me to believe that it is true that this car has been purchased out. It will go somewhere. And it's a bit unfortunate. It made me sad, made me really sad when I heard this news. So let me go back up to my presentation. I want to talk about the mileage on her car. The mileage on Chelsea's car. So Chelsea's SUV averaged about 1,000 to 1,500 miles per year, but right around the time of her disappearance, her SUV jumps to almost 8,000 miles. And I said, what would cause something like that? What would be the cause of something for someone's mileage to jump dramatically? Well, if you think, and maybe you all can think in the chat, I want to ask you, what do you think would cause someone's mileage to jump? Now think of her whole situation, her whole life situation, who she was with, who she was around, who she was involved with. Why would her mileage jump almost 8,000 miles in almost 3 months? Bingo, there it is. Thank you. This fucking guy was making her fucking drive around everywhere. No. He was living with her for 6 months. Confirmed. Living in San Diego. Remember on the last day? She gave me my guitar, my personal items before she left. So this fucking guy was driving her car everywhere, or he was making her drive him everywhere. Exactly. That's 1 year and 3 months of travel. One year. Hang on one second. 1 year worth of travel. Unbelievable. Yeah. 1 year worth of travel. Sorry, just had to silence that. Well, I just wanted to show you this too. This, and I forgot about this. I forgot I had this. Let's show you this really quick. Speaking about her SUV, when I started to kind of search, I put her VIN out there. This is the original listing when it sold in Utah to the auction, whatever this auction was. So this is not the recent. This is not the recent sale, but this was back in when was this? August of 2020. The winning bid was $700 on this vehicle. And this was the condition that it essentially was bought in. Looks like they were noting some damage on the tail light, which is interesting. Utah plate on it. See inside. Just some photos, of the auction. So that was the first thing I came up with. And I said, I want to see what happened to her car. That's why I pulled the Carfax, because I knew I had the VIN of her car, because it was on the, what report was it on? It was on the Williams police report that I had. So I said, I'm going to pull the Carfax and find out where her car is. I don't know if it was flooded. I don't think it was. It doesn't say anything about that here. It just talks about conditions of purchase of the lot at the moment. The lot is, however, changed. It didn't really say what it was. It could have been a flood. Most of the time when they go that cheap, yeah. It doesn't say anything here, but it maximum sale price, 10,600 US. And the winning bid was $700 US on that. Unbelievable. So that was when it first, it was first bought, and then it was sold to Chelsea right after that. So I wanted to show that to you. All right, let's get some more updates here for you all. I hope you are enjoying this presentation so far. If you are, please make sure to smash that like button. I really do appreciate it. All right, let's move on here. Let's talk about Chelsea's apartment. So source says on 12/6/23 that they saw Chelsea's landlord around her apartment moving Chelsea's possessions outside. They speak with the landlord, and the landlord says the parents didn't have the mental capacity, this is a quote, didn't have the mental capacity to come there and do it themselves. Now listen, everybody grieves in different ways. So you all can take that with whatever way that you want. I'm just putting the quote out there. I'm taking it in my way. I'm presenting it to you to make your own decision on that. And but it was a quote, and I'm going to put that out there from the source. But other than that, the landlord didn't have any other information. This is Chelsea's apartment, and I had found it, and I wanted to show you. And it's strange because this is a Google picture from 2023. I can't find out when the specific time that this was taken at, but it's almost haunting to see her SUV parked there out in front of the house. And it's just like a memory stuck in time. So that little red house with the red fence, and if you've gone and watched or looked at any of her Instagram, you can see in her videos of that red fence, her walking in that neighborhood. And I'm going to tell you, Chelsea lived very close to the water. She lived in a very, I would say, cute neighborhood. I'm almost jealous of the neighborhood she lived in. I was like, geez, I wish I could live there. Looked like a really good time, very relaxing place, as many San Diego. I had friends that lived in San Diego quite a few years ago. They loved it, absolutely loved living there. I mean, it's 75-degree weather all year round. I used to get jealous. They would send me photos on the beach on Christmas, and it's 75-degree weather, and they're in the water and hanging out. And again, I cannot. I got to bring up this point Paul is saying here. We can't judge anyone's method of grieving or worry. But for me, I won't sleep or leave that area until my kids were found. It's very true. And again, I'm presenting that to you all. You all can make your determination about that statement. But I just wanted to give some context and just show some of Chelsea's life, some of the updates that I got. Again, we have another photo of the little apartment that she lived in here. And again, you can see her SUV parked in the front. And this photo obviously is provided by Google Earth as well. Okay, so source tells me Sarah Grimm confirms that Chelsea's apartment has been let go and her personal items are being put into storage for when she returns home. They wanted to clean out her apartment because it has been, quote, infested by PJ. The family wanted to make sure that all of her objects of value and memories were kept safe. So the conclusion to all of this and all of this new information, barring the supplement reports that I haven't received yet and I want to receive, is, in my opinion, based on everything that I've been updated with in the last 24 hours, 48, 24, more 24 hours, that this is no longer a criminal investigation. That's based on my opinion. And it's based on a lot of people's opinions that I talked to about this case, and the sources that I talked to, and the experts that I've talked to. And I think this is becoming a hard pill to swallow for me. I still have hope. And I think you all still have hope that Chelsea will come home. But as time goes on, as we know in missing person cases, it doesn't become a rescue, it becomes more of a recovery. So what I want to do is, when you type about Chelsea, when you share information about Chelsea, please use the hashtag #FindChelsea. In your social media reports, if you're talking on Twitter, if you're talking in comments, let's start using that hashtag, because I think it's very important. I've been using it for quite a while, almost 2 months. But if you start leaving comments, you start talking about her, let's start using that hashtag. I just want to take a quick moment. I want to thank some people that have gotten us really to this point that we're at right now. And I'm sure there's going to be tons more information in this case. We're hoping on the 2 supplement reports coming soon. I still have requests into Phoenix that are processing. But I want to thank the Coconino and Williams police departments. They've been extremely cooperative as to our public records request. I want to thank all the friends that I've had the opportunity to speak with that have been close to Chelsea or have known Chelsea and provided information and allowed me a little bit into her life, into her space through them. I got to live a little bit vicariously of their friendships and their relationships with Chelsea. And as I've gotten to learn more about her, about who she is, what type of person she is, and what her life was, it is and was. I want to thank Steve from SFI for really being a true communicator in all of this, really allowing me to bounce ideas off him, share information, give me information, his expertise in the areas that he does: search and recovery, search and rescue, drone missions, private investigating. I want to thank all the tipsters that have reached out to me and all the sources. You all go hand in hand. I want to thank the people that have been out there in that area, still with no law enforcement presence anymore. They are not looking, but still you battle on and you look and you take your time and you donate your time to help and try to find Chelsea. I also want to give a big shout out to my LTL assistant and lead mod, Carrie H. You've been a amazing friend over these last few weeks. We've shared a lot of information back and forth. We shared a huge vision for this channel going forward, where it needs to be, where I'd like to get it to be. You've been an amazing person as far as kind of my secretary and talking to these clerks and getting all this public record information. So a lot of effort goes to Carrie as well. I mean, she does this for free. She's just doing it to help. And that's pretty amazing that someone will pick this up and help out. And she's been really the liaison for me between myself and the clerk's offices and getting this information. So please, give Carrie a round of applause. She deserves it. So, that's really where we're at right now. I'm still waiting for some information, but I think that, it's coming. For me, I think it's starting to come to a little bit of a realization. Time in missing persons cases is not good. I still have hope. I still have hope that Chelsea could walk through her parents' door or a friend's door or call someone. But if she's in that desert, I only hope that she's found soon and not years and years and years and years and years down the line. Because she doesn't deserve that. And the way that this case has been handled, she doesn't deserve that either. She deserves a lot more. The silence has not been good. And that's why I had to break open some of this silence and let everybody know. Because we all want to know. I will not hold back anymore. I held back for almost 8 months. I tried to play reserved, but that's not me. And if I'm going to do this and want to hit my end goal by 2024, then I need to start being real with all of you. Not that I haven't, but I need to put the information out there. I'm a reporter and I'm reporting. This is independent media. If a source comes to me, I'm going to go forward with it. I'm going to let you all know because you should know. And this is the same thing that major news organizations and major multimedia organizations do on a daily basis. But this is independent media, and we can make this great. And my goal by the end of 2024 is to be a full-time YouTuber, be a full-time independent media channel. That is my dream, and that is my focus. And I need all of your support to do that. And I appreciate all your support. And believe me, the hits will come, but we will deal with it together as a team. And we will celebrate our successes. And we will learn from our mistakes. And we will push forward to make LTL True Crime Podcast one of the best podcasts here on YouTube. I am determined to do that. I love doing this. I love being able to put things together and bring it to all of you. It's my passion. It's my hobby. It's everything that I want it to be. And I literally have put my life on for 8 months to get to this point. When I'm not working my full-time job, absolutely every waking moment goes into this channel. It doesn't stop. If you don't think it does, talk to Carrie. Her and I talk about 8 hours a day on everything about this channel and making sure that we bring forward information with integrity and keep these victims in mind and these communities in mind and the subscribers and the members in mind. We're going to do it. We're going to make this channel great. I promise you that. I promise you that. So as I conclude this broadcast for tonight, do me a favor. Let's see some yellow hearts in the chat before we end. I appreciate everybody being over here tonight. And I promise you, I will have more information on this case soon. I promise you. And we have other stuff to get into. And we will. And I got a lot of stuff coming. Next week is going to be amazing. We're going to blow the roof off YouTube. I promise you. You're going to want to be sticking around and tuning into this channel because we got a lot coming. We have a lot of stuff coming. I love all the yellow hearts. Just want to recognize this. Carrie with the big dono. $50. Always behind you. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you for the support. You are an amazing friend, an amazing supporter of this channel. And thank you for believing in me and believing in the vision for LTL True Crime Podcast. I know this channel can be great. I know it will be great. But we're all going to be part of this ride. We're all going to get there to the end goal to make this one of the best true crime independent media broadcasts across YouTube. We will get there, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be an uphill battle. Thank you all for being here this evening. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the donations that came through Buy Me a Coffee. If you want to support me, if you want to support this independent media channel, you can make a donation through the Buy Me a Coffee app. I have memberships there as well. And I will be having members only content on the Buy Me Coffee app as this channel grows. Yeah. A signed hoodie. I could probably make that happen. I'm going to work on some merchandise soon. I'm just quite not there yet. Maybe when we get around maybe the 15,000 subscriber mark, we'll start working on some merch. But I think that's going to conclude tonight. I appreciate everybody being here. I hope that Chelsea comes home. And I just hope that people that report on this, please report correct information. Don't skew the facts. Don't skew the bullshit. Chelsea doesn't deserve that. Chelsea doesn't deserve that. Let's be better people in this case. We saw a lot of that in Idaho 4. Let's not let that happen here. Osen and Steve, thank you so much for your search efforts. Please continue and keep me updated. Tweet at me, email me, anything. And Steve promised me that he will give me a live stream update when he's out in Williams searching again. So I promise that will happen. We'll make it happen. And we'll continue to update. I will not let this case go. I'm going to continue to report on it. It might not be as frequent, but as I get new information, I promise I will. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all for watching LTL True Crime Podcast. And I will see you all on the next one. Have an amazing night. Take care. Bye.